The next one is divorce hurts men, marriage is pointless.
What? That's literally the opposite of my message.
No, well, he's saying that's one of the reasons how the show is not a dating podcast.
When
we talk about divorce,
you're actively promoting people. You're actively saying, why should men get married? That's a common talking point.
No, I usually ask why secular men should.
Why should anybody get married?
Well, this is super important. So this, I don't even think you would argue that this isn't dating related. So the span and spectrum between religious and the religious who want to get married in their preferences and secularists who want to get married in their preferences is like night and day. And so I always draw this parallel out when I ask religious people, why do you want to get married, right? Especially religious women. And then you hear this answer, right? I want to fulfill my obligations to God, or I want to, live a certain lifestyle which is based on my ethical system. That's why I want to get married. You ask secularist women why you want to get married, and oftentimes they'll give you a whole complete class list of I want more resources, or I would like security, or they're not unreasonable, right? But they definitely have a completely distinction in opinion for why they want to get married. That is, I don't even think you could disagree that that's 100% valid for dating.
Talking about marriage is fine. Discouraging is not.
When do I ever
This podcast discourages marrying all the time.
When have I ever discouraged marriage?
I didn't say you did. I said this podcast.
I have always maintained, to try to throw you like as much of an olive branch as I can, I've always maintained that to me, I can't create justifications for secular marriage.
Well, by the way, we're also talking about Red Pill Manosphere. Mm-hmm. Myron Gaines is also someone else, another popular creator.
He also can't create. So I've had conversations with Myron about this.
Yeah.
Okay. He also is in the same boat that I am, in that for secularist men, because what Myron says is from the religious standpoint, it makes sense, especially if there's an ecclesiastical authority which can help govern it.
Right.
But he's the same place. Like, from the secularist standpoint, justifying it for men is very difficult.
When he's talking about not getting married, he never caveats it about being secular. He says, why would men get married? They don't get anything out of it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And this is the same message that Red Pill content creators are promoting to their people, and that's why they are single. That's why they're alone, and that's why they're isolated.
So I'll cede some ground here.
Okay.
That he probably does talk like that, but he's a secularist.
Okay.
So when he's referencing men, right, he's thinking of it from that view.
What does Andrew Tate think about marriage?
Again, what does that have to do with Myron Gaines? One at a time. Don't pivot. Don't red herring.
Wait, and also I just want to come in here. Andrew Wilson is not Andrew Tate, so why is Andrew doing a defense of Andrew Tate?
He's doing a defense of Red Pill Manosphere content.
Yeah,
and they are content creators of
look,
that.
I'm fine. I'm fine doing this. So Andrew Tate is looking at things also from the perspective of Muslim, and he's looking at things from. He has a variance perspective that's kind of interesting, but discouraging. I actually understand why it is that secularists discourage marriage for men. That makes sense to me, and I actually understand why it is that Tate would discourage marriage for men as well. That also makes sense to me, but since his conversion, he actually seems to discourage it less, but says instead that there needs to be reforms and changes to the way that the laws are done so that men don't take as much risk in marriage.
Okay, so going back to my opening statement, 3 of the biggest podcasts that promote Red Pill content, whatever, Fresh and Fit and Andrew Tate, most of them, excluding you and Jim Bob, discourage marriage typically. So that's my point that I've been making this whole time, that you guys, these content creators are discouraging men and women from getting together because it benefits them.
But I need you to tell me this now, okay? I'm going to actually concede this point so that you can tell me why the fuck that's bad for men.
Do you think men shouldn't get together with women?
I would love to hear your justifications for why it is that secularist men ought to get married to secularist women. Go ahead.
I think that red pill men, especially the incels of the world, 95% of them report severe depression and they're lonely. So these kinds of podcasts promote people being alone, and that is dangerous to men.
You're right. But have you looked at the unaliving rates for divorced men?
They're high, but
no,
you know
how much higher?
80% of all unalives. 80% of all unalives are men. 80% of all unalives are men.
And by the way, why didn't you throw in? Because you're only giving one side of this, right? I've read probably all of these studies. In fact, you can give me the list. I bet you I have.
You have the list.
Here's what's interesting. in the study that you're citing specifically, especially when it comes to unaliving.
Multiple studies.
Especially when it comes to unaliving. Which demographic unalives the most? It's those who cohabitate. The cohabitating men who are unmarried, right? They actually unalive more than the men who are married or the men who aren't married, including these depressed men. And cohabitation seems to be like kind of the number one thing that secularists push, right? Go ahead and cohabitate and go ahead and live together. There's no reason for you to have any type of moral standards. There's no reason for you not to go ahead and move in with your girlfriend. That's what they push.
Do you
That's
know who's
their
getting
idea.
married more right now than any other demographic?
Who?
College-educated people.
Yeah, that's true.
Mostly secularists. So I don't know what you're
So
talking
what?
about.
What
They're
does that have to do
not
with
secularists aren't pushing don't get married.
What does that have to do with anything?
This idea that you're saying secularists
Yeah.
have this non-moral code where they're saying just cohabitate, it doesn't matter. That's not what's happening because they're actually getting married.
Yeah, because women who are in college have access to much higher status men than women who aren't in college.
College-educated people are also getting divorced less.
Yes, because you have the high status man that you want who has lots and lots of money. Yes, that's the way that works.
The women are also making a lot of money. Do you know how?
No. So here's the thing that's so funny. Here's what you didn't include here. So when it comes to the middle, right? You're right that the middle class, which I would argue,
You're saying I'm right a lot, by the way.
which probably doesn't exist.
I
Right?
appreciate you saying I'm right
Well,
constantly.
the thing that's so fun about making a concession to a point is that it makes it easier for me to destroy it.
Oh, yeah.
So here's what's funny about this. You are correct that the middle class does get divorced a bit less. Or I'm sorry, get married a bit less, right? In some cases, a lot less, depending on what's going on. But here's why. You can only usually get a guy or a woman based around the social dynamics and social circle that you're in, right?
Sure.
They only have access to women or men who are roughly making around the same amount or not the same amount as them, and usually they meet them at work. College-educated women, different. Mm-hmm. Now they have access to this kind of wider pool of much more wealthy men, right? And so, yeah, of course they marry them more often. They have a higher status there for them to go after. That's why they do that.
I like how you think women are just going after high status men when they make up 45% of the workforce, 43% of entrepreneurs. They're making their own money, Andrew.
Can you tell me, though, what the disparity is between the amount of money that these college-educated women make compared to their college-educated husbands, sir?
I'm not sure, but
Yeah, you're not sure.
I'm not sure.
Oh, that's such a shock. Well, let me tell you, because I am sure, right? It's a significant
Why don't you give me a
amount
number
more.
then? If you know so much, give me a number.
Because I don't remember if it's
Oh,
between.
it's significant,
I don't
though.
remember if it's between 0.5 or 1, but it's at least 0.5 more.
Okay.
At least.
Okay.
So, like, I don't even
So
know
what's
what
your
you're
point?
arguing here.
Yeah, I'm arguing here that secularists still get married, and you're making the stupid point
No.
that they're promoting cohabitation, even though that's not
I
the
would
case.
say that if it were the case that the middle class had access to the same amount of wealth as the college-educated women do, that they would be getting married at the same rates to those men
Okay, well, why aren't they getting married then?
because they don't have access to those men.
Okay.
Can you tell me why that's wrong? No,
I think
no, you can't, can you? Because it
I'm
makes
about
sense,
to.
doesn't it?
I'm about to.
Okay, can't
Why
wait.
do you think there's such a gulf between relationships right now that you actually encourage?
I don't. What golf do I encourage?
You encouraged it on Pearl Davis' show just this week.
What?
That the golf. She said men and women aren't dating. You said good.
Yeah, no.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're gonna lie right here, right in front of my face.
No, I don't think I did say that.
Yes, you did. You said it's good
or
because
you're leaving out
they're gonna.
critical
No,
content.
I'll tell you what you said. You
Okay,
said
go
they're
ahead.
gonna hold out because you think women are gonna cave first, so that we could start creating these gender roles again.
Ah, yes. So you're talking about my internal critique of Pearl Davis.
Pearl Davis said men and women aren't dating, and you said good, and this is why it's good.
Yes,
That's not an internal
good.
critique.
This is why it's good.
That's not an internal critique.
Yes, it was. The entire conversation with Pearl was an internal critique.
That specific conversation was not an internal
The
critique.
whole conversation was an internal critique.
That's a very likely story.
It's not only but listen, am I a person who debates utilizing internal critiques?
Sure.
Yeah. And do I use that? Do I have a staple for utilizing internal critiques?
Sure.
Okay. Why is it though that for some reason you think with Pearl Davis I wouldn't use internal
Because
critiques?
I will admit, throughout the podcast you were, but this specific point you weren't. This was your own personal belief that it's a good thing that men and women are dating because you only want Christian people dating.
No.
You only want Christian people dating and having babies. Secularists can go fuck themselves.
My point there, right now, this is off the top of my head, right? And I think it's unfair for you to hold me to the standard of this debate that I had that went on for hours. I can't remember every detail of it. But if I remember this correctly, what actually happened there was we were discussing secular marriage, and if the gulf got too wide, right, then people are going to divert themselves over to other X thing. But I don't remember.
It had nothing to do with secular. It's like you keep throwing that word in front of what these people are saying because it just helps your argument. But that's not what you guys were discussing.
Well,
You were talking about men and women aren't dating.
exactly.
Do you admit that men and women are dating currently? Do you know men 18 to 24 have never asked a woman out in real life? Did you know that?
Yeah.
So
No, that's not correct.
okay, correct me then.
Yeah, no, show me any data that shows that in your packet.
It's probably not in that packet
Because it's not true.
Okay, then what's the statistic? Then?
I don't have to give you a counter. I just can tell you that that's not true unless you demonstrate it.
Okay, I'm the one who actually brought something. Did you bring any demonstrate any statistic you've thrown out?
What statistic have I thrown out?
Demonstrate any statistic you've thrown out.
What statistic have I thrown out?
About how much more men in college make than their white
You
counterparts.
demanded that I give you a number. What did I say?
Yeah, I didn't demand.
Don't actually
You said it's
know.
significant.
I said
You
don't
said it's
actually
significant.
know other than it's significant,
Right.
the gap.
Well, then
Yeah.
show me the proof of that.
Yeah, but I don't, that's all
Okay,
I know
then shut
about
the
it.
fuck up.
Yeah. So here, just real quick, just demonstrate it. Demonstrate it. I got your data packet.
Let me ask you something. Are men and women dating less?
Hold on. If you got to answer his question.
I don't have to do
Doesn't
anything.
answer questions.
Hold on. If you're going to cross-examine him, he's going to
I
cross-examine
asked him
you back.
initially how many people are dating, and
He's
then he said,
answered most of your questions.
He has not
You just
answered. What was the question?
You've asked you've shotgunned a bunch of questions. He asked you a question back. You should respond.
Oh my God, this fucking room is cooking. Can you open that door up?
It is pretty hot in here.
Yeah, it's
Open
fucking
it up,
cooking.
both of them.
Holy shit. Whew. This is like peak bad, dude. All right. It's got to be like a fucking 100 degrees
It's
in this
hot.
room, dude. So anyway, where were we? What were we talking about?
I asked about men and women dating and the gulf between them.
Yeah, what about it?
Do you admit that that's happening?
That there's a gulf between dating?
Yeah, the
You
men
mean
and
by
women are
class
dating
or by
less.
by what?
In general.
What does that mean? What are you asking me?
Do you think men and women are dating less, yes or no?
Yes.
And you think that's a good thing?
Contextually, it could be a good thing.
What do you mean by contextually?
Well, it could be that people are selecting for better mates, for instance, and so they're dating less because they have much more criteria for them to go off of. Maybe you could possibly see as results of that less single motherhood. It could be a good thing.
Do you think there are more involuntary celibate men than ever?
No,
You think this is
Definitely not.
You think this is not an anomaly that's happening right now?
no.
When else in history do you think that was happening?
So throughout most of history, only about 40% of men ever reproduced, and we know this because we can check our ancestry and see how many more female ancestors than male we have. So, yeah, most men were not able to reproduce. They were expendable. They were used as soldiers, used as this, used as that. So no,
And
actually,
they didn't
more
have
men.
resources to reproduce. I can see that.
Yeah, you'll concede that point, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't think that this is like.
So you don't think there's a gulf in the male loneliness thing? You don't think that's a real thing?
Yeah, well, I didn't say that though.
Okay.
What did I actually say?
No, I'm asking.